Hello everyone, Stevie at worldoftrash.co.uk here. Welcome back to another edition of Trash Talk Wrestling. Here at Trash Talk Wrestling, we aim to bring you a wrestling-focused podcast each and every week, whether that be an interview or just me and someone else chatting about the past week's wrestling. Of course, you can find all our podcasts on iTunes and any other good podcast service. So if this is your first time here at Trash Talk Wrestling, please go to our website www.worldoftrash.co.uk, click on that podcast tab and it will take you directly to our iTunes channel. Or of course you can just install your favourite podcast app onto your phone or mobile device, search for World of Trash and you will find us. And hey, you can listen to the previous 2 episodes of Trash Talk Wrestling, including interviews with Scotty Swift and Aspen Faith, both members of the WrestleZone Scotland roster, who have a massive event coming up in Aberdeen's Beach Ballroom. The event is called Aberdeen Anarchy. In this week's podcast, I sit down and have a chat with an old friend of mine and someone who is a wrestler for WrestleZone and who will be competing in a 4-way ladder match at Aberdeen Anarchy. His name is Zach Dynamite. In the podcast, we talk about Zach's past in wrestling. We talk a lot about his views on wrestling, what he thinks wrestling should be, what he likes at the moment, what he doesn't like, his views on the current UK scene. We also get to hear the very serious story about the injuries that kept Zach out for almost 2 years. I mean, this is a really, really good story to listen to when it comes to wrestling and the dangers involved in wrestling. So for that alone, I would say get listening to this podcast. He obviously talks about Aberdeen Anarchy, so we break that down, we talk about that, and at the end he has got one funny story that I forgot all about. But that is enough from me. Well, I say that's enough from me. You have to remember to check out our sponsors, heelshirts.com. They have worldoftrash.co.uk t-shirts available. That is the Boo Club t-shirt. That is what I'm calling the design, as it is the Boo Club. If you want to be a member of the Boo Club or the worldoftrash.co.uk club, then head over to heelshirts.com and get yourself one of our shirts or one of their many wrestling related t-shirts. Without any further ado, let's get on with the interview. Take it away, Stevie. Hello everyone, Stevie here with another edition of Trash Talk Wrestling. This week with me I have the man who started training on the very same night as me. In my opinion, he's like the modern age HBK.
Oh God.
His name is Zach Dynamite. Yeah. Zach, how are you doing today?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm quite alright. I'm alright. I won't go into my sleeping patterns. It's a bit funny. But yeah, I've finally woke up.
Just for my own amusement, the rest of the podcast I'm going to call him Charles. Just
okay.
cause
So
Mr. Rockman, Charles.
That'll be it. So
that'll
yeah.
be that.
If you hear Charles, that's me. If you hear me accidentally saying Daniel, that's him. Kayfabe. This podcast is going to be great. So yeah, basically we're here with Zach Dynamite. We're going to go through his history. We're going to talk about his past. We're going to have a little talk about the future. And we're going to talk about his upcoming Tri-Counties ladder match at Aberdeen Anarchy.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun. So let's see. It's been ages, and I pretty much say this on every podcast now. It's been ages since I've seen you. It's been ages since we've been talked. Tell me about your last year in wrestling. What have you been up to?
The last year has been pretty crazy because I only returned back in August, about 9 months. 9 months came back to WrestleZone after 2 years off. So yeah, it's been it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, because coming back after such a long hiatus. It was quite challenging.
So how long was it you were actually off?
2 years.
2 years. Now, I mean, this is something I was wanting to talk about, and we can go into this before we start actually talking about wrestling, because this is actually a pretty serious topic.
Yeah.
And it's a topic that happens a lot in wrestling. But you never hear much about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's go a bit about the injury. What sort of injury did you sustain?
Well, my last few months before the injury, I was pretty banged up anyway.
Yeah.
So I had a match with Alan Sterling, one of the wrestling shows. Came off the top rope with a crossbody and I hurt my knee pretty bad. So yeah, hurt my knee pretty bad. You know, went to the doctor, whatever, got checked out. Turns out all the ligaments in my knee were strained and very close to tearing completely. My hip was in a pretty bad way. My shoulder, which I broke previously, was giving me some issues, and also, I had a concussion years before. Yeah, and that had started. The
concussion issue. Well, talk about that very quickly, because that put you out for
9 months. 9 months, nearly a year.
I mean, how was it that came about?
Just training. Just a simple, a kick went wrong. Got kicked in the chin. I remember being there at the time. I remember it, and people might not realise this, but wrestling is dangerous. Yes, very much.
And this didn't happen in a ring. This happened in training.
Yep, in training.
This happened in training. Yep. So I mean,
we were just going over some stuff and practicing, and got kicked in the chin, and immediately my whole left side of my body went numb. I couldn't feel the left side of my face. Very confused, very disorientated. Yeah. Eventually, went to the hospital, and I had a severe concussion. I couldn't form a sentence for a week properly. It was just very, very hazy. Long story short, I suffered left eye trauma, which is why I got a lazy eye a little bit. And I had a concussion that led to post-concussion syndrome. So I had migraines, whatever. It was a horrible 9 months long recovery time. Concussions are not great.
No, they're not great. They're not great at all. I mean, I remember when it all happened. It was really scary, because I mean, everyone, you were, if I remember right, you were just on shows. You just started really getting momentum, and then it just happened. Yeah,
just happened out the blue. But I came back from that, whatever. Yeah. But going to 2014, when I hurt my knee, it was just a lot of different issues at one time just came crashing down at the same time. So spoke to my doctor, whatever, and I decided it was time to take a break from wrestling just to heal, because I really needed to heal up, because at that point in time I was no longer enjoying it the same, because I was hurting so much and just broken down, and sometimes you just need to just get away from it all. So I took the 2 years out, and then I started to get the old itch.
The itch came back.
And it was about Aberdeen Anarchy of last year is when I started to really... It was coming up to Aberdeen Anarchy of last year, and I was really starting to get,
I know what you mean.
Feeling. Yeah. So I spoke to Scotty, had a chat, whatever. Seemed if it was, if it was time to come back on both sides.
That's Scotty Smith, by the way.
Yes.
He's
undisputed champion.
Yeah, undisputed champion, and he's also the guy that pretty much runs the WrestleZone training academy.
Yes. So had a talk and came back, and that was tough coming back, because obviously you're wondering if you can still go like you used to, or if it was how you getting thrown around. And
how was your first bumps in the ring?
Fine. Yeah, fine. I hurt a little bit. Obviously, it was a bit of a okay.
What would you say was the worst move to come back to that you forgot that just sucked?
Probably just getting chopped.
I knew you were going to say that.
Generally, because they just suck. Just so bad.
People don't realise it. They just think chops are like, woo, woo.
Yeah, no, hate them.
That is the one move that, regardless of anything, always hurts. Yeah. There's no such thing as a chop that doesn't hurt. So how are you feeling now? How's
good,
the knee?
Yeah.
How's the concussion syndrome? That's obviously cleared, thankfully.
Feeling good. My knee's great. My shoulder's great. My head's great. I feel good. Generally just very, very healthy. Yeah. Which is great. So I returned, Battle of Nations last year in August. That went well. And the last 9 months have just been a lot of fun. Just fun. You know what I mean?
Back on the WrestleZone circuit, just doing it.
That's it, just doing my thing, and it's been great. And how I was received by everyone. It was
I mean, everyone was. I know from being at shows. People missed you. Yeah. And you were missed, and people were like, "Where's Zach Dynamite? Where?" Yeah. And I think it's awesome that you came back. Yeah. And I remember when I seen you on a poster, because I hadn't seen you personally in ages, and you were that's when you weren't on social media, and I seen you on a poster. I was like, Zach's back. I was like, yes. Yeah. And then I think I bumped into you, and we were talking, and it was like, oh, that's so cool. So I mean, it's really good that you're healthy.
Yep.
and
absolutely.
ready for this.
Yeah.
You're ready for this ladder match.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about this ladder match a bit later
on. Yep.
Because this is going to be a fun conversation. So we mentioned it briefly. We met at the WrestleZone Academy.
We did indeed.
So you came up through the WrestleZone Training Academy.
Yeah.
You're another example of what can be produced there.
Yeah.
What would you say your training was like?
It was good. It was really good. I started there August.
Yeah, I think it was a September.
August or September 2010.
I remember because it was a month after my birthday.
Yeah.
So
August or September 2010. Anyway, no, they were really good. They were the best thing they did was they teach you the basics.
Yeah.
Because the thing that's most important to learn in wrestling, especially, is learn the basics first.
Yeah.
Because then you can build on it.
Yeah.
If you don't know your basics, then you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
So that's like, I can't praise the training academy enough, because they will make sure you've got all your basics and you're 100% ready before anything else. So yeah, the training academy was great. Like I say, it teaches you all your basics and lets you learn and develop at your own pace. Mm-hmm. It never feels this pressure to to rush, or it's wrong if you take a bit longer to learn. They're very, very supportive, very reassuring, and they've you feel supported in the training academy. And if you're looking to get in wrestling in Aberdeen, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah, especially with the new facility as well we've got, with the ring up all the time, which we didn't have to start.
No, I mean when we started, we did not have a ring.
No,
to train
we did not.
We could only train in our ring if there was a show.
Yeah.
We had hard wooden floors
and mats, thin gym mats, which just hurt.
The training was, man. I missed those days of bumping on wooden floors.
Yeah, that day I had to do 600 bumps or whatever it was, because they were getting a bit sloppy. So the whole night of nothing but bumps.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was. I don't know if it was 600. That might be an over exaggeration.
I think it was 300.
Something like that.
It was a living hell.
Yeah, our bumps were pretty sloppy. So they're like,
they're
gonna bump all night. What? Bump on just these thin mats, and man,
it was fun.
It was fun. I enjoyed it, but I like punishment apparently.
What do you have to say? I mean, we'll follow on from that. I mean, from our training, because we had to train on wooden floors. What was it like when you got into the ring to train? From the difference from the floor.
Well, see, for us, because we didn't get the ring often, the ring was very much a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
It was very much a privilege to be in the ring.
Yeah.
The ring was great. Because the floor you'd hit, then nothing. At least the ring gives you a little something, not a lot though. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just being in the ring was great. Always a lot of fun. I've been in the ring. It's like home.
I've just got a little tidbit to put in here from one of our first times in the ring.
Oh god!
And it was do you remember the training session that I think it was TJ Rage took over, but it was supposed to be what's her name?
Carmel Jacobs.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. She was supposed to do it, and TJ Rage just told you to hurricanrana on me, and we had never done that before as well. And I just landed on my shoulder, separated shoulder.
I do remember that.
That was just a fun little anecdote to put in there.
Yeah,
he was forced to hurricanrana on me. I just was like, he's big and scary. I'm just going to do what he says.
Yeah.
And then we got into trouble for it.
Yeah. I can safely say I can do a hurricanrana now, though.
Can you?
I can do a hurricanrana now, yes.
Whether I could take a hurricanrana now is a list. Oh, man. So, wrestling, you're known for wrestling at WrestleZone. Yeah. Have you branched out yet? Or are you just...
No, I haven't branched out yet. A big part of it is just being back. I've been back 9 months. I don't really consider that a very long time to be back, especially after the layoff. So wrestling and WrestleZone, but definitely the next 6 months to a year, very much looking to get my name out a little bit, maybe branching out a bit more, get experience working other wrestlers, other places, different crowds, which is always good, because we've got regulars in our crowd, so it's quite nice, if you get a different crowd that doesn't really know you, then it's much more...
You got to do your job.
Yeah, that's it. It's much more of a challenge to maybe get the reactions you're used to getting, and you need to work a little bit smarter, a little bit different. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to hopefully get my name out there in the next 6 months.
Is there any promotions that you've got your eye on you'd maybe want to send a tape to? I guess for me it's more...
I mean, I'll just send out to, you know, where Discovery would probably be a big one.
Yeah.
Discovery, they've got a cool thing going on down there. I just want to really do my thing, and hopefully, you know,
See, you could let them come to you.
not necessarily
No.
that, just, you know, do my thing, stick out some tapes or whatever, and get in contact with different promotions and see if they, you know, if they like what they see, or, you know. Yeah.
I mean, you're a pretty laid back guy, so I'd imagine you're just taking it.
Just
pretty
taking
laid
it
back.
as it comes. Yeah.
Is there anyone in the UK scene you'd like to work just now?
Oh, well, quite a few. I mean, I got to work Andy Wilde not long ago. That was on my bucket list.
So let's speak about this Andy Wilde match. Andy Wilde, right? I remember he is like huge now. He is like one of the biggest guys there is, and we're not talking like big, morbidly obese. We're talking muscle.
Like,
we're talking he is huge,
like a bear.
Yeah, like he is actually like a bear. So like, what was it like to work with Andy Wilde?
Well, it was a lot of fun. I mean, Andy was always on my like bucket list of guys I want to work. Tremendous respect for him. You know, like what he does. I think he's really, really good.
Yeah.
And like, especially as he is now, being bigger and stuff, it's like I saw the dynamic and I'm like, that'd be fun. Like, you know, I'm quite a small dude. And he's this big old bear, so I was like, cool. I got the match with him. And I don't think I've ever been in a ring with a man that legitimately strong before. Yeah. Like, yeah, he threw me around like I was a small child. Like, just launched me like across the ring. I mean, it was hard landings and it was a long night. It was a fun, but it hurt. Like, he gave me a belly to belly suplex and he threw me, but he never had to leave his feet or even like he just launched me from where he was right over his head across the ring, and I was like, what? That's scary. That's scary.
That is scary.
Like, I've been in the ring with Crusher Crabe, and he's a strong dude.
No,
he's a strong dude,
man.
but Andy Wilde is just.
If like you're saying, getting slammed by Andy Wilde would be harder than getting slammed by Crusher Crabe.
I don't know.
So I've been slammed by Crusher Crabe.
Me too, and it hurts.
It sucks ass.
Yeah, it does.
He enjoys hurting people.
I'd say Andy Wilde's chops are definitely a lot harsher.
Ooh,
and I mean, Crushers are harsh. Like, don't get me wrong, Crusher does some damage, but Andy Wilde's chops, man.
If we're talking chops, have you ever worked at BT Gun?
No, never had the privilege. He's another guy I'd quite like to get in there with.
No, his chops. Yeah. He's probably got the hardest chops on the planet.
I've heard stories.
Oh,
I've seen.
His chops are a thing of wonder. I'm surprised he doesn't chop someone's chest off. It's like absolutely ridiculous.
But, Andy Wilde, loved working him. I'd love to get a one-on-one match, Bingo Balance. Okay. Definitely. I mean, we're going to tangle in this ladder match, but I would relish the opportunity to get one-on-one. Okay.
That's actually a surprise to me. I thought you would have worked him already.
Yeah, just our paths have never crossed until now, and you know. So, you know, I'm getting to work him in the ladder match and get wrestle him, and that'll be great. But I'd love the opportunity to go one-on-one with him.
Yeah, he's a very much underrated wrestler.
Yes,
a lot of people don't hear about him and stuff like that, but he is.
Early on, when we had training sessions with Bingo Balance, I learned a lot from him. Very much so. He's just, you know, really laid back dude, but he knows what he's doing, and he's really underrated. He's really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
BT Gun, like to work him at some point. He's, you know, seen his stuff and
his character now seems to have developed really well.
Love to get a chance to work Aspen Faith one-on-one again. Our paths haven't crossed in a while.
Yeah, that's one I would like to see, because before you got injured, your paths were very nearly crossing, and it was getting really heated.
Seemed that way, but you know, injuries, whatever.
And it was a shame. So I mean, we'll kind of follow on with Aspen Faith, but this actually could lead to anyone. Let's say this ladder match was not happening at WrestleZone this year. Who would your target be? Would you be looking for would you be aiming for Scotty, or would you be looking to face someone else?
It's a tough one. I mean, I love wrestling Scott. Our paths have crossed a few times, but I've loved it. And obviously everyone's got their eyes on the Disputed Championship, like everyone does. Yeah. Like, it's, you know. So yeah, I mean, I would have loved to win the Rumble, and I would have loved to face Scotty Swift for the Undisputed Championship. Didn't work out that way, but I'm sure our paths will cross again. So yeah, I mean, I guess if it wasn't in the ladder match this year, I would have loved to work Bingo one-on-one. Yeah, would that be that? That would have been one I would have really liked.
Would you have been aiming for to steal that best opening match ever spot between Bingo and Xavier.
They had a hell of a match.
Yeah, that's a match. I'm not sure if that's actually available to watch online or not.
I think it is. I think it might be.
Yeah,
if it is, check it out.
Yeah, it's Bingo Balance versus Stevie Xavier.
2013.
Yeah, Aberdeen Anarchy.
Really good.
Awesome. People have said it's the best opening match they've ever seen.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a really good match.
So, do you think you and Bingo would have a match that good?
I'd certainly like to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could.
Yeah.
Not saying we would, because you know,
you never know what happens.
Yeah, but I believe we could do.
Yeah.
I believe we definitely could do.
Awesome. Cool. So, what wrestling are you actually watching at the moment?
Little bits and pieces of everything, really.
Okay.
You know, I watch some stuff that's going on in Scotland. You know, the American stuff like WWE. Some New Japan stuff. They got some really good stuff going on in there. Some Ring of Honor. Just bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I don't really watch one product. I just watch bits and pieces that either intrigue me as a fan or as a wrestler. It's stuff that catches my attention and stuff I think I can learn from, and just stuff that generally interests me in wrestling. So I don't sit and watch like Raw every week. You know, I'll watch bits and pieces.
Yeah. Raw's hard to watch now, even for me. I am blessed that I don't have to review Raw for the website. It's Kevin Anderson for worldtrash.co.uk. He does the Raw reviews.
Yeah.
I'm like falling asleep and watching Raw now.
I love wrestling, but 3 hours every Monday is tough.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Is what WWE show are you watching? Most
SmackDown.
SmackDown, yeah.
SmackDown or NXT. I do like NXT. I like the whole hour format. It's short, sweet, to the point. Some good action, some good segments. For me, that's a good wrestling TV show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's dynamic, it's short, and it gets to the point.
Yeah.
Not this whole 3 hours and filled with segments and, you know, whatever have you, when it's just filler for the sake of being filler.
Yeah.
You know, like...
It's kind of like what we were talking about before the show. We were talking a bit about anime.
Yeah.
And in anime, series will go through points where they're just not doing anything.
It's blatant filler, and you're like, well, what's the point of this?
Yeah,
like, going to Raw a few weeks ago, Gallows and Anderson, Enzo and Cass, like both tag teams, but like for weeks upon weeks, they were just facing off in tag matches all the time. It's like, but why?
Yeah.
Why is it doing this? So
yeah, it's just filler.
Yeah, it is. So like, you know, and like I'm very much in the belief of like, I like how in NXT the champ isn't on TV every week. Yeah. Because he doesn't have to be. Yeah. And when he is on TV, it's a bigger deal. I get Raw, you know, like I don't know much about the whole, you know, whatever the business side of like what Raw's doing, but like as a fan, it's just too long and too much for me personally. But, you know, each to their own. Yeah. But I mean, I find Raw the same. Yeah. I watch SmackDown. Yeah. Thankfully, I review. I like SmackDown. I do like SmackDown generally. I think it's got some. It's more of a sports base, which I quite like. I love the old NWA stuff. You know, like the old NWA, like Flair and Rhodes, Magnum TA. Like, just I like the whole sort of sporting aspect feel of it. The old school wrestling feel. It wasn't so. You know, it wasn't so pro wrestling, but it was, if you get my meaning. You know, it's a crazy thing. It's kind of funny because when you see your style as a wrestler, you are quite dynamic, you are quite flashy, but at the same time, you've got these hints of old school. Yeah. So would you say that you take a lot from the old school? Yeah, I mean, like, I love guys like Sting, Savage, Shawn Michaels, Barry Windham. Shawn Michaels? Yeah. You like Shawn Michaels? I do like Shawn Michaels. Barry Windham's great. Flair in his prime, like late 80s Flair. I like the old school. I like the new school athleticism to it. New school, but you know, the newer, like, you know, this whole athletic style. But I also think there is a lot to be said for that old school. Each match is a story. Like Bret Hart, like every match was a story. So I did try and at least somewhat mix the newer side with some of the old school stuff to make sort of like a hybrid. You know, that's just for me. That's good. Pro wrestling, and that to me sounds a lot like the modern British style, and what that is becoming. The modern British style is taking these dynamic aspects, it's taking these old school and storytelling, and fitting it all together in this nice little package. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, who's your favourite wrestler from the old times then? Oh, it depends which era. Let's say from 85 or before. Ooh,
and then we'll do your favourite wrestler of all time.
Okay, from 85. So if we're going,
let's go old school.
If we're going 85 to 95, say, it would be Randy Savage.
Yeah,
the Macho Man. He was great. If we're going 95 onwards, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
But yeah, Randy Savage. Like Randy Savage in the mid to late 80s was just awesome.
Yeah,
like, Randy Savage anytime was pretty much just awesome.
Yeah.
But like, if you look at his old stuff, man, Randy Savage was the man. Like.
I just loved how crazy he was.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
how he just got away with it.
yeah, absolutely. Like he was a great heel, because he knew what to. He was a great babyface because as a heel he knew what to give the fans and he knew what to take away from them. So when he was a babyface, he just all those things he took away, he now gave them. Like if you look at the matches he had as a heel, first 2 minutes of every Macho Man match, he'd go out the ring and showboat, stall around the ring, yada yada yada. Heat because boo, you fucking suck.
Yeah.
You switch him to babyface, and immediately he was on the offense with elbows and punches and jabs and axe handles, and it's like yes. Once again, it was just he was smart enough to go, well, this is what they like, so I'm going to take this away and stall, and that'll get instant heat. But when I'm a babyface, wham, just go right at it. Just old school and just incredibly smart.
You just made him sound so amazing.
Savages.
You put that very eloquently. I'm impressed. So it's the cliche question time. That's why it says in my notes cliche question.
Cliche.
Because it is the cliche question, and I know who you're going to answer. Because I just know this is who you are. Who's your favourite wrestler?
Favourite wrestler of all time is Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
Because how do you argue he's the greatest of all time? No. In my opinion, anyway.
It was funny when you first came into training. You were Shawn Michaels.
Well,
let me just say something, right?
I'm not that good.
On day one of training, he came in and he did a kip up. No one at the WrestleZone school could do kip ups.
Now everyone does them.
Yeah, he just came in day one, kip up. Everyone was like, "Are you having a laugh?"
Yeah, I love Shawn Michaels. He's my favourite wrestler. Right now, active would be AJ Styles.
Yeah,
because I think he's just fighting on all cylinders. AJ Styles is like, just look at anything he's done over the last 4 years in New Japan and now in he's just on all cylinders. He's great.
Yeah. I would agree with you to an extent. I think that WWE could give him more. I think he could be a lot hotter than he is just now.
I mean, he could be, but with the stuff he's been given, he's made gold with it every time.
Yeah.
And I think to me that's the testament of a really good wrestler and a really great worker is getting something and just making it work. Just making it work and getting it over. Like that to me is a great wrestler.
I mean,
to me,
you got a good match out of Shane McMahon.
Like,
you know what I mean?
My opinion is like it takes two people to have a great match, certainly.
Yeah.
But AJ was able to get that match out of Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
He was able to get that out of him. I don't think anyone else could have.
No.
Because AJ knows how a match goes. He knows how to make. They wrestled an AJ Styles match, but they made it look like a Shane McMahon match. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all the stuff Shane would do, the dives, the weapons, whatever. And it looked like a Shane McMahon match, but it was an AJ Styles doing a Shane McMahon match, in my opinion, for what it's worth. But yeah, great, like AJ Styles.
It was a good match.
It was like,
it surprised the crap out of
and it helped. It went on first, certainly helped.
Yeah.
There was less expectations that way, and I don't think anyone was really expecting anything of it.
There was zero
and
expectations.
After the match, I was like, man, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, same.
Like, I couldn't really fault it very much. I was like, that was a really good match. Like, that was really good.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I was just like,
I did, because I said for weeks, I was like, if anyone's going to get a great match out of Shane O'Mac, it's going to be AJ Styles.
Yeah, I mean, there's the term that someone could work with a broom.
Yeah, AJ Styles could.
Yeah, AJ Styles could.
And Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He could work 2 brooms.
I think he already has, actually. Maybe not 2, but I think he's worked a broom. I know he's worked a small child anyway.
Yeah, he's worked this. That match is brilliant. Like, I can't remember if it's Yoshiko or something like that, but it's Kenny Omega versus a 7-year-old girl, and he gets a brilliant match out of a 7-year-old girl. It's ridiculous.
Kenny Omega.
Awesome, man. I mean, Kenny Omega, he's been at the UK quite a bit recently, so we'll talk about the UK scene. What are your thoughts on the current UK scene?
It's great. It's going through a massive boom. If you'd told me when I started, 7 years ago or whatever, that all this great stuff would be happening in the UK, like, you know, Matt Riddle coming up, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, all like ICW doing the Hydro and stuff, like, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
Or like WrestleZone doing the Ballroom.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
4 or 5 years now in a row, sellouts.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have believed you. And it's a great time to be a wrestler on the British scene because it's going through a massive boom. People are into it, and I believe that's because there's a lot of good guys out there really just busting their ass and really trying to make British wrestling a big deal now.
Yeah.
And, you know, wrestlers are taking themselves very seriously and like how they look, how they wrestle. It's a great time to be in British wrestling. I would definitely say so.
Definitely. I mean, before we recorded this, we went and watched a match. It was Marty Scurll versus Will Ospreay, Battle of Super Juniors from a couple of days ago, and that's 2 British wrestlers, and
making waves over in Japan.
Would that go along with your views on British wrestling?
They're 2 guys, like, you know, Marty Scurll especially recently, he's reinvented himself, and my God, he's hot, like, he's really hot. It's like those are 2 British wrestlers that are very good at what they do. And they're making waves in Japan, so it's a good thing for British wrestling. It's just a really good thing for all British wrestling. So,
Zach, what are your current goals in wrestling at the moment?
Just like right now, I mean, obviously Anarchy to win the Tri-Counties Championship. That's the big one right now. To carry on working my way up WrestleZone. You know, put on great matches for WrestleZone. Also, just to branch out and just like my main goals right now for the next year, as we said earlier, is just to start making a name for myself out with WrestleZone. Yeah. Start getting booked to other places. Right now, that is my goals in wrestling. Right now.
Cool. You heard it, promoters. If you're a promoter and you're listening, Zach Dynamite, you can find him on Facebook.
Yeah.
So of course,
plug in Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. Book him. Blatant. So, of course, it is Aberdeen Anarchy season. Yep. We're in Aberdeen. Yeah. We're here and we're going to talk about We are here and we're going to talk a bit about Aberdeen Anarchy.
Yes, we are indeed.
You have not been on an Aberdeen Anarchy show in 3 years now.
It's been 3 years since my last one.
So obviously we know kind of why you've not been there. You've had injuries.
That's what's kept me out. Yeah.
Injuries, time
off. Yeah.
So what's your mindset going into Aberdeen Anarchy this year?
Well, my mindset in Anarchy this year is I'm really looking forward to it. Like it's just like purely for selfish reasons. Ladder match has always been on my bucket list to do. Like a ladder match has always been one of those things. Like one time I'd really like to do a ladder match.
Yeah.
So to get to do it this year at Anarchy is special to me, and also I'm just something that's, you know, very exciting for me to be a part of. And, you know, going back to Anarchy this year it's special for me because, you know, having missed the last 3 Anarchies, to be back in such a high profile spot at this year's Aberdeen Anarchy, you know, wrestling for a championship in a ladder match, it is a big deal for me personally, that people have that much faith in me to put me in that match.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very excited and just very grateful to be part of it all, because I mean, honestly, I was not really expecting to be part of this year's one. Just coming back in August, I didn't know, you know, I mean, guys have been busting their tails for ages, you know, years, whatever. It's just, it's important for me to be back on this show, so and it's very exciting and just very, I'm just going to go out there and just, you know, try and have the best match possible.
Any nerves?
No, just excitement. No nerves, just excitement.
Awesome. That's really cool. So of course the match you're in is a ladder match. It is a 4-way ladder match, and it is for the new WrestleZone Tri-Counties Championship. Yeah. So first we'll talk a bit about the match, but first of all, what's your thoughts on the belt?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think it's good to have a 3rd belt in WrestleZone. Yeah. Well, obviously we've got the tag titles, we've got the undisputed title. It's very nice to have something for the rest of the roster that maybe aren't in a tag team or quite at that undisputed title picture yet. Yeah. So to have that belt there, I think is a great idea, and it just, you know, it gives just a well-needed boost to shows. I think. I feel, you know, some extra drama for matches now because there's a new belt. And for me personally, going into this ladder match and being for the new championship is like, you can always be the next champion. It's very rare you can be the first champion.
Oh, that is
you know what I mean?
That's like a soundbite right
very,
there.
I know, it's very rare you can be the first champion. And like in terms of WrestleZone, if you're the first Tri-Counties champion, like that's your name.
Yeah.
You know, etched in WrestleZone history. You are the first champion. And like for me personally, you know, I assume it's the same for the other three guys in this match, but this belt is, you know, it's brand new, whatever. It's up to us, and it being its first 4 challengers, whatever, the first 4 guys fighting for it. It's up to us to make it prestigious. It's up to us to make it mean more, mean something more than, you know, it's not just a belt.
It's like what they say, it's not the belt that makes the wrestlers,
it's the wrestlers that make the belt.
Yeah.
So for us, we're going to, like, I assume the mindset is saying we're going to go out there at Anarchy, we're going to bust our ass, and we're going to leave it all in there for that championship.
Yeah. So the last podcast, talking about the Tri-Counties Championship, Aspen Faith, he's so do you not have a very good feelings about Aspen?
Me and Aspen have been going at it for years now.
Yeah.
We pretty much came up at the same time. And like, you know, we used to look at each other as a reflection in a cracked mirror.
Yeah.
You know, we both wrestle a very physical style. We both, you know, bring our A game all the time, but the way we go about it's very, very different.
Yeah.
And like I say, there's always been unresolved issues between me and Aspen Faith. You know, I beat him, he beats me. There's never been, you know, who's better. Like for me and him, it's always been who's the better man.
Yeah.
Like who really is the better man between us. And we've never really had a chance to find that out. In Anarchy, we're going to take a step to find out who is the better man.
This is true. I mean, he told us in the last podcast that he thinks this is the work rate belt.
Yes, I agree.
And that's cool. I mean, his outlook on this match is that Bingo's too nice. Yeah. Tucker's a bit past it, and you've had injuries.
Yeah.
So what do you say to that? And what would you be thinking of Aspen? Because he's looking at it like that way.
Yeah.
Although he's the man that's scared of heights.
Aspen. So. The problem for Aspen Faith is very simple. He is overlooking Brian Tucker. He's overlooking me, and he's overlooking Bingo. Bingo Balance and Brian Tucker are both former Undisputed champions.
Yeah.
Brian Tucker is also a former tag team champion and a former Regal Rumble winner. And also, he got the win in the triple threat.
Yeah.
But he never beat me. Just saying. Brian Tucker's never beat me. So yeah, he's looking past Brian Tucker, and he's looking past Bingo Balance, and he's looking past me. And that's a dangerous move. Because, you know, all he's done is piss off the 3 other guys he's in the ring with. So if we can take out Aspen Faith, we'll take him out. And then the 3 of us will fight between the 3 of us, and may the best man win. But if he thinks that injuries are going to stop me winning the championship, he's dead wrong. Yeah. Because right now, nothing is going to stop me. Period.
Yeah.
I've said it, you know, in all my matches lately, it's not about being a nice guy. It's about being the champion. So if I need to, you know, smash these guys in the face with a ladder and take them all out, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Because it ain't about friendships or respect anymore. It is about the championship. So Aspen Faith had better watch his back.
Yeah.
And watch his mouth.
Yeah. And that's something that he's good with.
His mouth, yes.
Yes, his mouth. I mean, that was his views on that. So it was good to get your kind of comeback to his thoughts that he's going to target the injuries and he thinks that people's niceness is going to get in the way. And you
I think his own arrogance might be the one that stops him from winning the championship, personally.
Continuing on, talking about the other people in the match. I mean, you've got Bingo and you've got Brian Tucker there. I mean, Brian Tucker's got ladder match experience. Yeah. I'm not sure if Bingo Balance has maybe got ladder match experience wrestling in Ireland.
Yeah, I think he does.
But I know for a fact that Brian Tucker has ladder match experience. So what are your thoughts on these other 2 men in the match?
Bingo Balance is, you know, he's a notable high flyer and he's very good at strikes. I think giving him a ladder is going to be pretty dangerous because I think he's going to think of very creative ways to use it. So, you know, he's one to watch just for sheer... I think he's going to bring offense that we haven't imagined or seen. So if we can take him out early, great. Because the longer he's in that match, I believe the more dangerous he will get.
Yeah.
Brian Tucker, I have respect for. But, admittedly, I have more respect for since I've wrestled him this year. Myself and Brian Tucker had never really crossed paths much.
Yeah.
But, you know, we fought at the Regal Rumble, went to Double DQ. And then in West Hill, Brian Tucker earned my respect because we had a hell of a match for 10 minutes. And, you know, unfortunately, time limit.
Yeah.
and you know he's got this new side of himself that he's brought out, and it's a side he'll need to win this ladder match.
I mean, the new side of Brian Tucker, he came out. He came back to the WrestleZone at the last Aberdeen Anarchy, and he was a completely different person.
The one thing I do want to say, though, is Brian Tucker is riding pretty high right now because of his win in Stonehaven.
Okay.
Yes, he got the win, but he's never beaten me. Okay? Not once has Brian Tucker ever beaten me. So I'm just saying, he can be, you know, he was talking about momentum earlier. He did a little promo, and it was fine. He talked about momentum. Great. But he's never beaten me.
Yeah.
I'm the man to beat in this ladder match because I'm the man who wants it most.
And I believe that. I believe in you. I mean, I believe in everyone in this match. This match is going to be great.
Yeah.
Hands down. I mean, I know Bingo, I know Aspen, I know Brian, and I know yourself.
Yeah.
And I've had experience in ring with every one of yous.
Yeah.
I know what yous can do. I know the potential of this match is off the scale. When you put a ladder in, it just adds another crazy dynamic to it.
Well, the thing is, right, a lot of guys would fear a ladder match because they'd fear the added element of the ladder. I don't, because, you know, as we documented earlier, I've had my fair share of injuries, right, and I've come through it every time. So ladders don't scare me because I've been through the worst injuries and I've always come back, no matter what. May have taken my time, but I always get back up. And I've not been part of Aberdeen Anarchy for 3 years. No one will do what I will do to win this match because I'm not afraid to throw myself and my body in danger to win this championship. They need to ask themselves if they're going to bring it like I'm going to bring it in order to win that championship. That's what they need to ask themselves. And I don't think they are, personally.
Ooh, this is a match to watch. I am like, you've got me super hyped for this match now, Zach. Man, I don't think we can cover any more of that match without you absolutely going crazy and starting to smash up the studio. So let's move on to some other Aberdeen Anarchy stuff.
Yes.
Because there's been many Aberdeen Anarchies in the past.
Yeah.
Do you have any... What's your favourite moment from Aberdeen Anarchy in the past?
Personally, I mean, like, it was one that didn't even involve me. It was just Hacksaw Jim Duggan being at Aberdeen Anarchy. Honestly, like, because he is such a good dude. Like, we met him. Yeah. Great guy. Funny. Total nice guy. Total sweetheart. Yeah. That was my favourite. Just him walking the ring. So it's like, you know what? He's a really nice guy. And, you know, normally when you meet some WWE guys or like they can be a bit, but, you know, I mean, he was walking backstage with like Jack Daniels in his hand.
Hacksaw,
you know,
was brilliant.
2 minutes before his match, just you know what I mean? It's like, where's Hacksaw? Oh, there he is. His match is in 5 minutes and he's still wearing his suit. Okay. Good times, good times. And I wasn't even part of that match, but yeah,
Hacksaw was brilliant. But we talked about. I think we talked about Hacksaw with Scott on the podcast before. Uncle Jim,
total great guy. I mean, like, honestly, like, he was just a total nice guy, totally approachable. You know, I was intimidated because, you know, he's been in WWE. You know, I mean, he's a legend. He's Hacksaw Jim Duggan, for God's sake. But no, total nice guy. You know, I mean, like, nice guy. You know, afterwards when we, you know, had the meal at Jimmy Chung's or whatever, and then he's driving past in his car and he goes, oh, halfway down the tremendous. Yeah. Oh, great guy.
It's been obviously 3 years since you've been in Aberdeen Anarchy. Tell us a bit about your other Aberdeen Anarchy experiences.
My first one, it was me and Damien. That was a fun match. Yeah. You know, it was a fun match. It was pretty good.
Damien's really underrated, if you ask me.
Damien is a guy that I got the pleasure of working with, wrestling with for 9 months straight, more or less. You know, big, massive feud. I learned a lot from him though. Yeah. Like, just he's incredibly underrated. He's another guy that, if I could work in the next 6 months to a year, he's definitely on the list. He brought out the best in me, I'd like to think. And he was very pivotal. Like, he came at a pivotal time of my development as a pro wrestler. That feud with him really got me to that next level that I couldn't get on my own. I needed him to get me there. I needed that blood feud to get me to that next level, to, you know, to have those level of matches. Yeah. So, you know, he was my first one. That was great. That was like the first time we walked out in front of that, you know. I mean, because, you know, I was a fan of wrestling, and if you told me I'd wrestling in a ballroom in front of 1,300 people or whatever it was, it's insane. Like, because in my mind, I'm a pro wrestler. Like, I'm now in front of all these people on a centerpiece show for our company. It was a huge deal, especially that first year for all of us. Like, you were part of it. Like, it was a huge deal for like just being on that card. It didn't matter where you were, opener, middle, closing. It didn't matter.
Hell,
I
I
was
was
part of that card, and that was a big deal.
Hell, I was playing the music. I felt important.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was just such an awesome feeling. The next year after that, I wrestled James Midas.
Okay, not heard from him in a while.
No, and I also managed Ross McTavish that year against Alan Sterling.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah,
hit them both with a frog splash. That was good. But yeah, this is the first year though. I'm like, it's wrestling for a championship. For me, is a big deal. Like, it's it's Anarchy. We're wrestling for a championship. It's a marquee match. Oh, this one's gonna be the best one.
Yeah. Feeling it
in the bones.
Oh
god,
you're pumped. You're going to do this.
But like, just everything going on in wrestling right now, I really believe this could be the best Anarchy yet. I really do. Yeah, like, I think Scott and Sean are going to have a tremendous main event. Honestly, I really do. Sean, like him or not, is fighting on all cylinders right now. He really is. Sean Johnson, he's totally firing on all cylinders. Scotty Swift, been undisputed champion
for ages.
Yeah, I mean, he had that little break in between. But I mean, he's been the guy for a long time.
And I mean, he had to beat he had to beat Joe Coffey for that.
That's right.
And Joe Coffey's no slouch. I mean, me and Scott on his podcast, we think he's one of the next people to go to WWE.
Joe Coffey's he's great. Joe Coffey's great. He's
his
got
brother,
star written
both of them.
Yeah.
Him and Marcus, brilliant.
You got Lou King Sharp and Hornswoggle. That's gonna be something.
That'd be fun.
It's like Lou King Sharp is gonna be a big man in the match for once. That's gonna be mental. I mean, Sami Zayn issued a challenge to Melina.
Oh, yeah, we've got to hear back from that.
Sterling Oil issued a challenge to the Rejected for the tag team championship. So
the card is stacking up.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's gonna be the best one yet.
Just
top to bottom. I think the roster's loaded right now. I just think it's got everything. I think it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, definitely. So,
definitely.
If you're wanting your tickets for Aberdeen Anarchy, the best way to get them is to go onto the Aberdeen Performing Arts website. Just go to Google, Aberdeen Performing Arts, look for the WrestleZone tickets, Beach Ballroom Aberdeen. Go on, get your tickets. I believe they're only about £15.
15 to 17,
yeah, £15 to £17. Yeah. It's not expensive.
And trust me, it's going to be a great night of action.
Big Quiche. Oh, of course, Rikishi. Yeah. Who's Rikishi? Has he got a part? Has he got an opponent?
I'm not sure. I don't think so yet.
Do we know who is getting ass-faced, stink-faced yet? Ass-faced.
Well, I don't know who's getting ass-faced.
Who's getting ass-faced?
But it's going to be great. I mean, Big Quiche.
Quiche, man.
Yeah.
Quiche. It's Uso's dad.
Okay, well, that's it. Yeah.
Uso.
We say Us, yeah.
So, before we finish, do you have any funny stories from Aberdeen Anarchy or just funny stories from wrestling in general? Because I've asked this question to a few people, and it's like, well, we can't really tell the stories. We can't tell them. So if you just get any funny stories from
the one that pops to mind is you were there. You had an air pistol that you bought, and like it was some back town. What town was it? Arbroath.
There was a gun shop in Arbroath.
There was a gun shop in Arbroath. So random Charles Rockman decided to buy an air gun. So that was fine.
I'm seriously not crazy.
It was me, Mr. P, random Charles Rockman. Who was the other one? Oh yeah, it was just the three of us. We're driving down the road to Arbroath, and it's winter, I believe. Yeah. Winter. And then the car, the tyre, I'm pretty sure it was the tyre got punctured or whatever. Something like that, anyway. So I had to stop. So Mr. P is out there, fixing the tyre or whatever. I need to take a leak. So I go take a leak in the bushes. Charles Rockman's firing an air gun into nothingness in the middle of nowhere. And Mr. P's, fixed the car or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was the car broke down. But then he decided it would probably be a good idea to change in his suit.
Yeah.
Right then and there in the middle of the road. So so just think, right? We're on a road.
I forgot all about it.
We're on a road on the way back from Arbroath, just one of these roads. The car is driving past, and there's me taking a leak. There's Steve shooting a gun, and there's Mr. P getting changed into a suit. And we're just like, wow, we really hope the cops don't pull us now because, you know, this is going to be tough to explain.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. There was literally cars driving past, lights on and everything. Yeah. I'm sitting there. I was like shooting in a tree. I'm like shooting a gun, and it wasn't like, it didn't even look like a toy gun. It was like a proper metal air pistol. I'm sitting shooting this thing into a tree. Like, you're pissing. Dave's getting changed in the middle of the road.
Just like, and then we decided to all hop back in the car and drive like nothing happened. It was really good. Also, the guy that sold you the gun in Arbroath, he was a right dodger.
Oh, he was mental. Got that gun shop in Arbroath was brilliant.
Nuts. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna go to the show.
This is some of the things that you get to experience if you're wrestling about for small companies. Yeah. You can find random gun shops in small backwater towns, and they'll just sell you air pistols.
We love Arbroath, by the way.
Yeah, Arbroath was and it was really good. If I remember right, where the venue was just smelled like smoked fish.
Yeah, it did.
It was amazing, and it was a really nice chipper. Anyway, Zach, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure's all mine, mate.
It's quite alright.
Get a plug Anarchy, my Facebook page.
Get your Facebook page plugged.
Follow Zach Dynamite on Facebook.
Exactly. Get your tickets for Aberdeen Anarchy bought.
worldoftrash.co.uk. We want wrestling.
Oh, exactly. Thank you for the plug.
That's all
He's
right.
got the plugs. That's what happens when you give people t-shirts. They plug your website. Thank you very much, Daniel. And I'll be back with another podcast next week. So there you go, everyone. That was our interview with Zach Dynamite. He had a lot to say, and hopefully in the future we will have Zach back on the show, not to talk about any sort of event, but just to talk wrestling, because my god, that boy can talk. We just send our thanks to Zach and of course Aspen and Scotty Swift, who have both gave us their time in the last few weeks to help us put this podcast together, because it would be nothing unless we could get other people on to talk wrestling. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you are one of the people that listen to the shorter version of this where we just talked about Aberdeen Anarchy, please be aware that there is a longer version of this podcast, which you may know but because you've just listened to it. But if you didn't know, go to worldoftrash.co.uk, hit that podcast tab and it'll take you to our iTunes channel, or just install whatever podcast app you want in your phone and you should be able to find us just by searching World of Trash. You will find all our Trash Talk Wrestling podcasts, as well as the old ones where we talked about all sorts of random stuff if you really want to go listen to them. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. Remember and check out heelshirts.com for some wrestling shirts. We'll be back next week where it'll be me. I may have a guest. It may just be me, where I'll be talking about the past week's wrestling, including the WWE UK Championship, because I have quite a lot to say on this event, and I'm going to say it next week. Thanks for listening. Catch you soon.